And I know, but this kind of act must be giving you major ache, but I cannot help it out. Look, this one is also floppy. Yeah? Tell me, that's not that floppy. Not that much. This one is more floppier. Tell me lie. Assalamu alaikum. Hi there, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's vlog is a bit of a casual vlog, though there are two important things. The first one is a review of December books, the books that I read in December, and the second thing is January TBR. Though both are the important things and both require two different vlogs, okay? But as I'm right now under the weather, and I was planning to shoot this earlier, but I was on vacations and the things didn't go according to plan and all that stuff. That's why I'm just like collaborating it into one. First, we will do the review thing, okay? And then we will jump to the TBR one. And I will tell you why I'm not doing the TBR like with the TBR jar or like the prom cushions or random number generator. Why I'm not doing anything, I will tell you later on. Okay. So first thing first, that we the books that we have read in December 2024, I'm going to review about them. A small review, a short review, so that you can get an idea that whether you have to read it or not. But one thing, reading is subjective. Okay, everyone's perspective is different. Doesn't mean that if I like something you have to like it, or doesn't mean that if I hate something you have to hate the same thing. Obviously everyone's perspective, choices, and tastes are different, so to each their own. Okay, so let's start with first book over here that I have. It's over here, this one, A Vow of Hate, and spell Lila James. Okay, in this book what happens, there is a boy, Killian, yes, Killian Spencer, and he basically he has a father who is a politician, and the girl over here, there are two girls, okay, both are sisters. And what happened? One like tragic accident, one of the sisters lost her life, and the boy Killian was engaged to that sister who lost her life. So he was forced. It was a forced proximity, enemies to hit lovers kind of a thing, and he was forced to marry the younger sister. And then he was like spewing all the poison on her, and literally he was so annoyed and he was so frustrated with the situation because the father of the girls was a businessman. Yeah. And the father of the boy was a politician, and they were like having kind this kind of a deal, and they are working together. So that's why they had it was a deal between them to marry their kids, and from there starts the proper enemies to lover thing. Like, I have read a lot of enemies to lovers, but this thing, if you are really a good sucker of enemies to lover, if you're literally wanting to see them as enemies, not like some high school kids are having some kind of a prank on each other and they are enemies, and then no, proper enemy to lovers, then you have to read this book. This is that good. So according to me, this book is almost around 4.5 star. Yeah. Okay, so the second book over here is this one. And then there were none. It's a very famous book of Agatha Christie's. There were 10 strangers. They were lured to an island by a person, and at dinner they have to like tell about each other's like you can guilty secrets and all that stuff. And from that night it starts the game. One by one, everyone starts to die. There is this rhyme that's literally like kind of they hear it every time, and then one by one they are dying. It's totally like a kind of a very gripping and very like keeping you on the edge kind of a book. So you must read this one. It's a highly recommended book, and for me it's 4.8ish stars. Okay, so now we are going to read I'm not going to read review. We are going to review this one, Out on a Limb, a very good book. I know many of you have read this one. A very positive book for those who are physically impaired in any way, whether they don't have hands, or they less developed limbs, or whether they don't have legs or anything. So this book is a chef kiss. The way the writer wrote this book, like, I think the writer is also having that kind of issue, limb development issue or something like that. But this book is so beautiful. It's a kind of one night stand kind of, book. The girl over here in this one, the Winifred, met the boy Boo. The boy's name is Boo. His name is Robert, basically, but the short of Robert, Boo. So she met him at party of Sarah and Caleb. That she's best friend with them, and she went to their Halloween party, and over there she met Boo. And after meeting Boo and all that, the chemistry sparks and all that stuff, and they had a one night stand. And after having one night stand, she got to know that she's like expecting, and then it was totally unexpected situation, and then she tried to figure it out, and Sarah suggested that we should talk to Boo and all that. And then they talked to him, and Boo is also a friend of Caleb. Okay, so Boo is friend of Caleb, and this girl Winnie is friend of Sarah and Caleb, because Sarah and Caleb and Winnie went to the same school. So from there the story starts. It's a very happy kind of a story, very normal paced, no drama, no like that kind of thing. I don't think it's a very sweet, kind, soft, normal, very relatable, very like you can resonate with this book. So I will give this one 5 star. Sometimes you have to read this kind of stuff as well. Not everything revolves around drama. Then we have this one, full of drama. For that one wasn't drama, and this one is full of drama. Red Queen. Okay, this one is the like phenomenal book. Over here, there's this girl Mare, and she was a red blood book. Like by nature, she's a red blood, and the silvers basically are superior in this one, and reds are just like you can say their labor, their worker, or the lower class. And how she went into the world of the silvers, how she landed over there, how she had to live among them like silver, and how whatever happened. It's a very good book. It's a very good book to read. And I must say, if you are ready to face kind of deceptions and lies and twists and drama, and whatever you can say, if you are ready to read that, then read this book only. Okay, it has other parts as well, and I didn't bought it yet, but I'm soon gonna. So this one for me was like 4.5, 4.5, 4.6 for me. Okay, then come the Kindle. Okay, and I read 3 books on Kindle. The 2 books from the Natural series, All In and Bad Blood. So first I will review those two. That in the third book, I guess, there was this the character that the book revolved around was Solomon. Okay, the mathematics expert, like I told you in the previous vlog, I guess. Yeah, it revolves around her and her father and her sibling, and they went to Vegas to solve a case, and over there she met her father and all that stuff, dynamics of father, and dynamics of like having a sibling. She didn't know that she have a sibling and all that stuff. And then it was such a good, she always knew that she have a sibling. The sibling doesn't know that she exists. She thought that basically they were over there to solve a case, obviously, so they have to consider the things over there as in the case as well, because the mo of that case was kind of like the killer used to choose a date to kill, and that those dates were not like even or odd number in odd numbers or something like. No, there was no like those dates were not making any sense. Okay, then Sonon figure out that what is the pattern and how he's doing that, because she's a maths expert. So she figured out, and how she figured out, it's all about that in that book. I guess it was All In, yeah. And then the last one, Bad Blood, they finally got to the pit from where these series of murders started and why it started and all that stuff. They continued with the third book. Okay, in the continuity with third book, they still kept on like getting closer to the murderer and their whole like organization and all that stuff. So both of the books, like literally, they were 5 star for me, not a star less. They were so exciting, they were so thrilling, so they are 5 star for me. Then after that, I read this one, The Light of Soul, and Ellie is the writer, I guess. Ellie 4HX. She is a new writer. So The Light of Souls. It's such a good fantasy read. I cannot tell you. If you don't know about this book, just go on Amazon and buy it. She sent me the arc, and I read it, and oh my god, this book is the king of, for me, it's the king of fantasy. She totally took the thing like on the next level, because it's a kind of magic into technology. It's a kind of fantasy into sci-fi into romance. So it was a romantasy into sci-fi kind of a thing. And so romance was subplot, but the basic plot was technology and the magic. There's this girl Avery, and she was under the hold of Lord Sinclair. That man was from some other state, and she just ran away from there, and she landed in another state. I don't want to tell you the name of all the states and everything, so when you will be reading, you will understand it better. She landed into another state, and she went over there because there was this man who knew her mother, and her mother was dead. So she went to meet him, and from there the story starts, and she kind of have a found family, and she kind of have friends and kind of have caretakers, and then she was trained, and then she came to know that she's a mage. Surprise, surprise, because she cannot do magic. She couldn't feel any spark in her body and all that stuff. And then she come to know that she was under the possession of a demonic magic that is casted on upon her by Lord Sinclair, so she can remain under control. Yes. Now she want to go to the main capital of the country to just like find out the solution for this thing. And over there, in this all this thing, she also started having a love angle with the captain of the army, I guess. The army, yeah. She started having love angle with him as well. So it's kind of nicely laid plot, very nicely written. Everything was so in details. Even the technology, there is these metroids kind of creatures that were like, you can say, bots. In our language, it's kind of bots, but different kind of bots. So it's there in that world as well, and the magic was also existing in that world. So I recommend this book to you, and it's a very good book, and it's a 5-star book for me. Now the next book, the last book that I read in December, and after reading this book, I will always say, never judge a book by its cover, because the book is so fantastic. Read. It's such a phenomenal book. It's such a nice rom-com book. It's such a kind of like make you laugh out loud kind of a book that I was like, why I didn't pick it up earlier? Just because it has yellow cover and ugly yellow. Just because it has ugly yellow, that's why I didn't pick it up. I was like, why? Why did this stupidity? Okay, so we're here. The story revolves around two sisters. The main protagonist, the main girl over here, obviously is Olive, and she has one like twin sister, Amy. The story starts with Amy getting married, okay, and Olive was helping her out and all that stuff with the vows and all those things, and then Olive has to check on groom's elder brother, as instructed by Amy. She has to check on him because he has some kind of allergies and he doesn't like to have buffet and all that stuff, the contamination on those things. So she has to do that thing as well. And Ethan and Olive are like kind of nemesis. Okay, so she doesn't want to go over there. She doesn't want to check about him and all that stuff, but she had to. And from there, the story started, and you come to know the like kind of a tidbit of cute banter between them and all that stuff. And then, surprise, surprise, everyone after the marriage ceremony on the reception, they got food poison or something like that. And because Olive didn't have food and Ethan don't have buffet food, that's why they both were like literally only the two persons who didn't get this thing. And Amy and Jane gave their what you call it, honeymoon tickets to them to just go on their behalf and enjoy it. So they went over there, and they started enjoying the holiday and all that stuff. And in that process, what happens, everyone knows. Okay, so but how it happens, that's the main crux. You have to read this one once, at least once. This one will be 4.8 for me. A bit I'm disappointed was for Ethan when he wasn't believing Olive's judgment regarding Dane later on. So he wasn't believing her. That's the only point where it turned me off a bit. Okay, so all these are all the books that I read. These are all 7 books that I read. Now we have to select the TBR. In this month, I want to read the books that are floppy. Can you imagine? Am I for real? I just want to read those books that are floppy. That can go like this on this. Like I will show you. Look over here, this one. This is thick. A lot of thickness is over here going on, but it's kind of floppy as well. Look, the book is going here and there and here and there, and I want to read those kinds of books. Those go like this. I don't know what happened to me. Did something went into my brain on the trip, or something happened to me? I only want to read the floppier books. I don't know what happened to me. So that's why I didn't select the books from the proper TBR jar or from the proper random number generator, because I want to select on my own accord. I want to select on like whatever I want to read. But I know I cannot select all the floppier books because the majority of books that I want to read that are not floppy at all. So we can make a peace with this thing that I will select 2, 3 of floppier books and 2 or 3 like those are that are not floppy. But the thing is that right now I started reading Zodiac Academy as well. on my Kindle, and I'm done with the Divine Rivals. So two books I'm down, like, and there's one other book that's an arc, and I will review about it as well. And the writer was Mariam. I forgot her name. So it's an arc, and it's with me, and I'm reading that one as well on PDF on my phone. So there are already three books like down in Jan. So I think I shouldn't pressurize myself that much, because right now I'm telling you that I'm not feeling that much well. So I should go like easy on me, and I should only select three or four books, because I have like Kindle as well. Fourth book that I'm thinking from taking out of this TBR is this one. It's not floppy at all. It's just like this. Apprentice to the Villain. Basically, I read Assistant to the Villain. Assistant to the Villain. You have like seen lots of shorts. That was my favorite book, and it's a sequel. But the thing is that that book was floppier, and this book is not. It's a small book. It's a Saudi version, I guess, of this book, because the books that I ordered from USA, they were floppier. Okay, and Assistant to the Villain I ordered from USA, and that was floppy, and it's not. Look, so plus, look, the text is so small. If you can see, the text is so teeny tiny that I have to literally look like this into it. Then I will get what's written over here. But I was dying to read this one. Not dying. Not dying, but I was like so willing to read this one. So I'm gonna read this thing. And let's see what will be the review. Okay, after this one, I was willing to read this one. I was willing to start this series, Mile High. Many of you recommended me to start the series, and they love the series and all that. And plus, it's a bit floppier, not that much, a bit, you can say. So it serves the purpose as well. So Mile High it is, the second one that I want to read. Then the third one that I want to read, like these two are kind of fantasy. One was fantasy romance, so the first one, the Apprentice to the Villain, and the second one over here is a kind of hockey romance or something like that. So we will go for some thriller that is a bit floppy. I've gone mad. I feel I've gone mad. Okay, this one over here, Rice Ages book, the only one left, or both are floppier. I have two books of her. Look over here, this one as well. Both are, can you see, both are so floppier. Look over here. This one is also like so like this, and the cover is also pretty. And this one is a bit intimidating cover, but it's so floppy. But this thing gave me ick. Can you see this thing? A smaller cover paper, and like, what is this? Why it's so small? What kind of design is this? This gave me ick, major ick. But I have to read it, obviously. So either this or this. I'm not selecting like one of them. I'm selecting both. Why? Because it depends on my mood. When I will start reading this, in whatever mood I will be, I will pick one. If I'm in the mood purple, I will pick purple. If I'm in the mood red, I will pick red. Yes, these kind of stupidity I'm doing nowadays. I think it's all my hormones. So I will select any one of them, and I will give review on only any one of them. I'm telling you. So don't expect review of both. Okay, so these are one, two, three, and the last one that I am gonna read, or I'm willing to read, is I can't decide. There's this book over here, The Wishing Game, and I so want to read this one. Why? Because it's on my TBR since last year, so it's almost 1 year. I want to read this one but then I want to read this one as well, The No Show by Batalery, and then I also want to read The Yellow Face, and then I also want to read The Still Beating. But then I think that there will be like that will be like too much books, and I cannot read that much books. But then I want to read The Shatter Me as well, because I haven't started this one. But then I have this Ellie Hazelwood book over here as well, and it's very floppy kind of a book. Look, it's very floppy. I want to read this one because it's like going like this and this and like this. I'm telling you, I'm not in my senses now. Look, it's so fun. I just love this thing. Okay, I know, but this kind of act Must be giving you major ick, but I cannot help it out. Look, this one is also floppier. Tell me, that's not that floppy. Not that much. This one is more floppier. Tell me lie. Okay, you can go back. They're not that floppy. I have this one book, The 7 Year Slip. It's also very floppy over here. But the thing is that it kind of gave me summer vibes. The 7 Year Slip kind of gave me summer vibes. The Dead Romantics is also very floppy. And the 7 Year Slip as well. But they both give me summer vibes. I don't know why. They give me summer vibes. So I don't want to read them right now in winter. I want to read the books in winter that give me some wintry and cozy kind of vibes means. Is this exactly giving me cozy kind of vibes? No, I don't know. I don't think so. But right nowadays I'm off thinking as well. So let's go with this one. Hallie Hazelwood. Let's compromise on this one. Okay. So we got our four books. The first one, not the first one, the fourth one, then one of them, any one of them, then this one, Miles High, and then the first that I selected was this one. These are from my physical TBR. All these books are from my physical TBR. And like I am reading Zodiac Academy on my Kindle right now. I'm reading another arc on my like cell phone, and then I have read Divine Rivals already, like for this month. So that's done. So these are all the books that I have on my physical TBR right now that I want to read, and I'm gonna read in Jan, in the remaining days of Jan. So take care, guys. Love you. So we'll meet next time. Bye bye. Hasta la vista.